What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about something a little bit more uplifting, right? We have some good possible news. I'm sure you guys have seen over the last 24 hours, Ebonheart, Cogho, everyone talking about this big, enormous patch that's been data mined. And here's going to be my take on what this could be, right? So before we jump into the specifics, let me just preface this by letting you guys know what happened, right? So there's been a data mine, but it's not just a normal data mine. It's a data mine of a pretty big magnitude, right? So this patch, or whatever's been data mined, is massive. It's like an expansion-worthy size patch that has been data mined, right? Can't tie into anything that we currently have, but it has been found. Now, there are some talks about it maybe being a SOD Phase 9, which I think could be a potential thing that it could be. And then some outlandy stuff going on in there as well. I'm not going to pull up all the screenshots and do all this stuff, because this is going to be more like after reading into it, watching all the videos and looking into what this could potentially be, this is going to be my take on what I think it is. There's a few different scenarios, right? So something of this size is clearly not just like the ICC style buff being implemented into SOD. As Agrand has stated in the past, that they're going to be implementing that. So this is way too big to be something small like that. But I also have a feeling that it could be something else, right? So let's take a quick look at the state of everything and where we're at. SOD is in Phase 8. There's been some controversy there with whether it's the end or not. The initial blue post said that SOD was culminating with Phase 8. Everyone remembers that word. Everyone probably hates that word by this point. And then they took the word out of the blue post, but then they sent out a marketing email saying something along the lines of like, come experience the final chapter of SOD. So there's some weird gray area there where it could be the end, it could not be the end. For the most part, I personally think it is the end, but I'm not writing off the possibility of it not being the end. This very much could be a Phase 9, but it is so incredibly massive that I just feel like that's not the case. I don't think it would be this big if there was a Phase 9. I also don't know why Blizzard would be quiet about it. If there was a Phase 9, they would kind of be shooting themselves in the foot at that point. So for me, I personally don't think it's a Phase 9, but don't write it off completely. It could be. It definitely could be. The other possibility that's very much on the table is that this is just some sort of PTR testing ground for TBC anniversary, right? There's been a lot of changes since the last time we did TBC in Classic. It's been some years now, right? And there's been a lot changed, especially with the development of SOD. So pretty much, anything that they're trying to do for TBC anniversary could potentially break because of changes that they made for SOD or Wrath, Kata, MOP going forward, Hardcore, whatever it is. They might need to actually test this stuff. So it could just be some kind of internal testing, getting ready for TBC anniversary, right? We know that that's like 5 or 6 months away. It could be some kind of open testing for the player base to test in the near future, and they're just setting it up. But, it could be something else, right? Option number 3, what if it's like a SOD TBC testing ground or Classic Plus testing ground? I think that there is actually a lot of possibilities of what this could be. I've lately been someone who looks at all of this stuff kind of in a not a negative way, but in a realistic way. In the past, I've gotten myself and my audience super hyped up for things that then we get let down, right? So we're going with the cheese bags mentality now of, if you expect nothing, be happy with anything, right? So that's going to be my take on this, really. And if I had to sit here and try and think about what I really think this could be, my realistic expectation is that this is just some sort of testing ground for TBC anniversary. Would I be excited for maybe a SOD TBC, maybe a Classic Plus PTR being set up, very, very early on? Of course I would. Who wouldn't be, right? That would be extremely exciting. I haven't been playing much of the last phase of SOD lately, but if they announced a new phase, I'd probably go back and start checking it out and maybe doing the raid every week. But for me, a big part of it is that if I feel like something is ending, I really don't want to sink much of my time into it. And that's just personal. Anyone who's having fun with it, that's completely on you. SOD is a great game mode. I've loved it the entire time that it's been out. So I don't know. I do want to know what you guys think this stuff could potentially be down in the comments below. For it to be an expansion worthy size, it's so hard for me to sit here and think that it could be SOD Phase 9. Why would there be, you know, a single phase that's the size of an entire expansion? It just doesn't make sense to me. Could it mean that we're going through the Dark Portal in Season of Discovery? I guess so, yeah. But again, if it's something like that, I don't know why Blizzard would be keeping quiet about it, because it would drum up so much hype just talking about it or giving teasers that, like, I don't see, it would just be bad marketing, in my opinion, for them to not talk about it, right? So I don't feel like that's it. But, you know, that I could be proven wrong on that, right? They've done stuff like that in the past. So, you know, maybe it's something that they're not going to talk about until 3 weeks before it happens. Like, that is a major possibility. So I wouldn't write it off if you're a SOD player looking for a Phase 9. It's very much a possibility. But for me, I think what it most likely is some sort of testing ground for TBC Anniversary. Because there's been so much, you know, I know I'm going to get people in the comments saying like, oh, what do you mean? We just did TBC. They're just going to re-release it. It's easy. Now, there's been a lot of changes to the client and to the back end of this game since the last time we did TBC. So I'm imagining that this time around, when they release TBC Anniversary, there could be some serious problems. You know, we've had a lot of bleeding over from SOD into Era and Anniversary, and BGs getting mixed up. So I'm assuming that there is going to need to be some at least internal testing on Blizzard's end to make sure that TBC Anniversary does go smooth. But I don't know, right? It could really be anything. Those are our options. It could be a SOD TBC. It could be a SOD Phase 9. It could just be a testing ground for TBC Anniversary. The last time we got all hyped up about something, we thought we were getting like a fresh Wrath server randomly in the, you know, in the middle of nowhere. And that ended up just being the Chinese servers, right? So I don't know. There's so many possibilities. You know, there is a bit of hope from me that it could be something bigger, right? Like a Classic Plus PTR that's being set up way in advance, or, you know, a SOD TBC. But the realistic expectation is that it's probably something for TBC Anniversary, probably some testing there to fix anything that could potentially have broken this entire time through the SOD development and hardcore and all of the stuff that's come out since the last time we went through the Dark Portal. It's just, there's no way that some of that stuff isn't broken in there. But who knows, right? Let's try and keep our minds open here and really wait and see what happens. The size of it is what's throwing me off. In the beginning, I did kind of write it off as, oh, it's probably just like the ICC buff coming for Scarlet Enclave. But after seeing the size of it, it has to be something bigger. And most likely just some sort of testing ground that we may not even ever find out what it was or what it was used for. But there is a possibility of it being something more than that. And I want to let you guys know that. So, you know, expect nothing and just be grateful with whatever we get. And to be honest, at the end of the day, if we look at everything through that lens, we'll be happy, right? We're never going to feel slighted or down or let down or whatever. Like, you'll always just be happy. If you expected nothing and then randomly we go through the Dark Portal in SOD, you're going to be hype as hell, right? So am I. Everyone will be. But most likely it's just something for TBC Anniversary, in my opinion. I would love to know, you know, what you guys all think. Oh, no. This guy's going to attack us. We got to get him. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments, because it is fun speculating about all this kind of stuff. And I feel like finding something like this is kind of good in a time like right now, where I feel like there's this, you know, there's this like a little dark cloud of doom over Classic at the moment. Everyone's either just waiting for TBC or waiting for MOP, waiting for a Classic Plus announcement at BlizzCon next year, or maybe Warcraft Direct this year. Who knows, right? But I don't know. I just feel like I think speculating about this is good for everyone. Not getting super hyped up is also good. Don't get so hyped up that we never find out what this is and you feel let down. I don't want to do that to you guys. We've done that enough with Season of Discovery over the past year, but we're going to be realistic here. Keep it down, you know, bring it down to earth. Hope for the best, but don't expect it, right? SOD TBC would be pretty awesome. I don't know how the hell they do it. I feel like it'd be kind of a mess, in my opinion, with arenas and stuff. I do truly love the PvP in TBC, so it would worry me. Like, I know the raids and stuff would be fun in SOD TBC, but I don't know. SOD arenas in TBC could get really, really messy. And I think TBC PvP is in such a good spot. It's so much fun. And people love it. People hold it to such a high standard as in terms of like classic PvP that I feel like it would be kind of scary messing with that. I don't know. But either way, this could be really anything, but whatever it is, it's something big. We may never find out. Again, I think it might just be some internal testing on Blizzard's end, or maybe some testing they're going to open up to the player base over the next couple of months. But we're going to have to wait and see because we haven't heard anything else on it yet. So, yeah, that's really it. I want to know all of your takes down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think this potentially could be. Let me know what you want it to be. If you're a dreamer and you're dreaming for something big, let me know down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you guys got to go over to my Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. I'll pin a comment down below and put it in the description. We've been growing at such a rapid rate over the past few weeks. We're going to be pushing for partner on Twitch this year, so help me out with that, please. Drop a follow on Twitch, turn on notifications so you guys know when I go live. I go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern time every single week. So get over there. The support would be greatly appreciated, everybody. But anyways, that's all I've got for you today. So thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.